Wanted me to lie, wanted me to cry, wanted me to die. Real life, I'm staying alive.
Okay, so last night, Paraguay versus France. Kylian Mbappe scored a penalty, and he went and pulled out the emote
Kylian Mbappe
on the keeper.
His 7th goal of the tournament so far, and now France.
Kylian Mbappe might just be the hardest person to rage bait ever, bro. Paraguay were fouling him the whole match.
Power on the delivery.
And Mbappe just simply refuses to make any sort of interaction with them. He just straight up ignores them, bro. The ref was not very good, but last night was so boring for the first 45 minutes. They were just fouling and fouling and fouling and fouling and fouling and fouling. And then when they got the penalty, that's when you see like the Rio come out.
You wonder if Usman
the players were trying to like mess up the penalty spot so that the penalty taker slips.
Dembele and the havoc
And
right
you
now
can
of
see,
Paraguay
I think,
trying to do
number 2.
everything to upset the opportunity for France to take this penalty. But you wonder if Kylian Mbappe is slowly going to
You see number 2 was trying to mess up the penalty spot over there.
mosey over. And right there, it should be a yellow.
And like France is just laughing because like they're not even getting rage baited. They're straight up laughing at them. And when the game ended, Mbappe, like the keeper went up to dap up Mbappe, and then Mbappe straight up ignored him and started laughing in his face and just started celebrating. And then he walked past him pretending like he was celebrating to the crowd behind him, and it was so funny.
Quick, referee doing. Oh, there it's saved at night.
You see, he tried dapping him up. This was so funny.
The position of Mbappe, and it won't matter. The French machine does indeed march on.
Last night was so peak. But also onto this, on the topic of rage bait. Why does rage bait work? So if you go back to strategy, Sun Tzu describes strategy as having a position of power. So for example, a boulder on top of a mountain, it can go in any other direction once it's been committed. It can go backwards as well. So a boulder can roll in any direction, but as long as it's here, it has a position of power because it has potential. And that is basically strategy, because once that boulder is moving, it's difficult to bring it back to that position, and you've lost out on a key moment. And another analogy that they use is of a bow and arrow. So once the bow is taut and you have your arrow in it, it can be pointed in any direction. And as long as you're in that position, you have power. So that is basically strategy. Strategy is thought of as a position of where you can make any decision you want. And with it comes patience. If you act too early, if you move your boulder too early, or you shoot too early, then you leave yourself vulnerable. And that is basically a strategic view of rage bait, because once you rage bait someone, you're just basically forcing them to take an action and shoot their shot or move the boulder. And once it starts rolling, it's difficult to get it back into that position of being in potential, having lots of potential. It's difficult to go back. And I think Mbappe did that quite well. He did not get rage baited. He didn't lose his cool. He didn't take any action that he wasn't supposed to. And I think kudos to French team for that. And another thing, I will look at the notes that I took. You can even see it in like football dribbling. The best dribblers are patient. Instead of going straight to attack, they'll wait for the defender to make the first move. They'll stay in that top position of a bow, and they'll wait for a defender to make the move. So what Messi does is he lays out a trap, and he sees the defender is shifting his momentum towards this way, and he can just take a touch past him, because the defender made the first move of committing to that sprint in that direction. Messi reads it and then he reacts. And you can see it in like over here. So you see he's in that position of power. He lays out a trap. He still has control of the ball. He can still move anywhere. Now the defender is committed to tackling him. Defender makes the move. He's let go of his power. And now Messi reacts, drawing the ball away from him, leaving the defender. It's just that patience that you have of just not going straight for it, waiting for the defender to make the first move. And you can pretty much see this application of strategy just around everywhere. You can see it in video games. As you progress higher up in ranks, you will notice that players become more patient. And in Valorant, they'll like gather info before hitting any site, or they will for example in Clash Royale, you see noobs, they play like without reaching 10 elixir first, but as you progress higher, it just becomes a common rule that everyone waits for their elixir bar to hit 10 first, and then they'll make the move. So I think one thing that I learned is that to attack, you also need patience, which is kind of counterintuitive, but patience is very important in attacking, and you need to make the right move at the right time, maintain these positions. And I think that's about it for today's video. I will see you all tomorrow.